Out there listening here on Willie Radio 1400 AM and 95.3 FM. This show is brought to you by the Windham Region Chamber of Commerce, Energize CT, and CT Paid Leave. I'm Ernie Eldridge from ES Eldridge Auctioneer, and my co-host is on my left-hand side over here, Dan McClintock, owner of, he's waving there, McClintock's Roofing and president of the Chamber. We do have a couple of guests tonight. We have, and that is not the right one. We have Julie Garrett, is that correct? Is the second guest? Yep. We have Haley Proto, which is our first guest for this evening. Dan, do we have some... talk about our people
Let's talk about our sponsors.
There you go. That sounds a great idea.
Sponsors for the show. We have Energize CT and Connecticut Paid Leave. I know you have been listening to me talk about the Energize CT program for months, and you probably are bombarded with different energy companies about different programs and services. The Chamber is not a company selling you something. We hear all the time that energy bills are high, so we decided to get involved and find out how we can help both businesses and residents. If you have not had an energy assessment done on your home or business within the last 6 years, you really need to do so. There are so many new incentives, it's crazy. Like, for example, if you are a family of two and your combined income is less than $62,460, or a family of four with a combined income of less than $91,854, then you are eligible for even more incentives like insulation, windows, new heat pumps, and you won't even have to pay for a fee for the assessment. If you are interested in learning more or setting up an assessment, you can contact the Chamber or you can go to energizect.com. The Chamber is also a Connecticut Paid Leave community educator, and we are here to assist employees with applications. So many employees still do not know all the details about this program or how and when to apply. We are here to walk you through the process, help you plan for your leave, especially if you're having a baby, have a serious medical issue, or are taking care of somebody else with a medical issue. And we can't promote this enough. If you work for yourself, you are a sole proprietor, what will happen if you get sick or injured? Do you have short-term disability policy? The Connecticut Paid Leave program is a way to help you when you are not able to work. You can enroll easily and for less than private policies. The cost is a small percentage of your income. If you would like assistance or have questions about the eligibility or how to apply, email us at info@wyndhamchamber.com, or you can call or text us at 860-423-6389.
Thanks, Dan. We would also like to take a moment to thank our corporate sponsors here, our Chamber's corporate sponsors, and their continued support of our programming and community outreach. They are McClintock Roofing, Hartford Healthcare, Chelsea Groton Bank, Eastern Connecticut State University, Fine Federal Dispensary, Renee's Cleaning Service, Farmer's Cow Cafe and Creamery, Pristine Power Washing, ES Eldridge Auctioneer, Green Lawn Care and Landscaping, and Graduate Stores. Dan, we got some veterans news, do we?
We do. So, quick reminders for our veterans. Eastern Connecticut Veterans Center Coffee House meets every Wednesday from 9 to 11 at the Masonic Lodge at 375 Boston Post Road in North Wyndham. The Robert Slate Memorial Veterans Commissary is now at 1010 Main Street in the lower level every Tuesday from 1 to 5 and Wednesdays from 11 to 2 p.m. Veterans will need to park in the lower parking lot behind the building and walk up to the Chamber building. We're currently looking for someone to lead our veteran programs, like the coffee house and the commissary. It is a part-time position. You must have a driver's license, be able to speak in front of people, have some experience working with volunteers, be very organized, and not afraid of fundraising. It is a very rewarding job with flexible hours. If you are interested, please send us your email, send an email and resume to info@wyndhamchamber.com.
Got something this Thursday, do we not?
This Thursday, Chamber News. This Thursday, the Women's Leadership Council will be meeting at Lakeside Restaurant in Coventry at noon. Anyone interested in joining this dynamic group of women are welcome to join. Business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, homeowners, all are welcome. All women are welcome. There is no fee, but you will be ordering off the menu. Please RSVP to all our meetings at wyndhamchamber.com. For more information, email info@wyndhamchamber.com, or text or call us at 860-423-6389.
Well, it's my distinct honor to have our first guest this evening, Haley Proto, studio manager. Boy, that sounds like a big thing. Studio manager of Mantra Room. Is that correct? What is Mantra Room?
That's correct. Thank you so much.
You're
It's a new yoga studio in town.
Okay. And so you do yoga and meditation and all kinds of different things?
Yeah, we run 2 to 3 classes per day.
Oh, wow.
Anything ranging from gentle yoga, all levels flow, yin yoga, restorative, and we have lots of wellness kind of activities that we put on for a monthly basis.
So do people have to have some experience as far as like yoga or meditation, or, I'm sure there's people that just say, I'm not going to cross my legs like this, and, but that's what you have to do. Is that correct or not?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Right? I'd argue you don't need anything.
Okay.
The hardest thing in trying something new is walking through the door. Right? And so
That's absolutely correct.
True.
Alls I want to do is invite people to take the hardest step, which is walking through the door.
Okay.
Wear comfortable clothes, right? And we will do the rest. I think that there is a misconception with yoga that you have to be flexible, fit, young, right? All of these things, very mobile. Mm-hmm. And the reality is those are the benefits from a yoga practice. So you don't have to walk through the door with them pre-existing. This is something we build as we practice together.
Is there certain times that you have certain groups in, like old people like myself? I mean, I'm 3/4 of a century, so, and maybe compared to some kids that are 20 years old, let's put it that way, or do you mix them all together and everybody kind of has a good time?
So we mix them all together.
Okay.
People can book private events or private classes for groups that might be just for their friends or their age demographic.
Okay.
That is always an option. But we teach from an all levels perspective. And so anybody who's walking through the door, we're working with. So you can have somebody that's 20 years old and next to them somebody who's 70 years old.
Yep.
Okay.
And the nice thing about it is that both students will learn from one another, right? Which was a really cool thing to see as the teacher overseeing the room. And so you really don't need to know anything special.
Okay.
It's just about making the commitment for yourself, your time, to try something new.
Now, it sounds, it just, going off script here, I guess. I've got a little script here that was, I'm sure you probably put it together. So, you had, so there you go. So we didn't say some weird questions. But, I would think that some businesses would love to have their employees come to your business and do something like that, maybe once a week or twice a week or something like that. I could see like the hospital or somebody like that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So something like that, businesses can actually book the space and we can put on like a wellness event for their employees for the day. So they can come, they can practice some yoga and meditation, lunch would be served, and then we would spend the second half of the day doing team building, something crafty, and then tie it all together with the yoga. And so it can be a kind of like a corporate wellness day or a small business wellness day, anything like that. So that's a very common thing that some businesses will book.
So let's say that a person only has, let's say, an hour or something like that. Can you do a class in an hour, or does it take much longer? You're talking whole day classes now, okay? But
absolutely. You can so right now, all the classes on the schedule are just 1 hour long.
Okay.
And then when somebody books something else for their friends, for their family, for their employees, you choose the amount of time.
Okay. So there are other yoga places, let's put it that way, and meditation places, which is fine. I mean, competition is always good for everything.
Absolutely.
Believe me, I know that. So it makes you a little bit different than other yoga studios.
When we opened the Mantra Room, we kind of set an intention that we wanted to draw people that might not walk through a yoga studio door. right? So people who are new to the practice, people who are struggling with mobility issues, people who have possibly had joint replacements, people, all ages are welcome, but maybe, we were kind of thinking, let's bring people in that feel like they're struggling to move in their body comfortably now, right? So people over 40, let's say. And I recently ran a little demographic of the average age of our clients, and it's about 40 years old. Okay. So I feel like we're getting exactly what we had hoped for.
Right. Now, you mentioned people after a surgery and such, but I would think perhaps even preparing for a surgery.
Absolutely.
Something that might be pretty good.
Yes, building up your strength and flexibility and range of motion before surgery can help heal, help the recovery time.
Okay. All right.
Now, do you I'm sure you have a website, do you, or some place that someone can get a hold of you if they were interested? Because I know that you said you do corporate ones, or you do business ones, or you do private ones. I'm sure you have to have. Do you have to have an appointment to come in? Or can you just open the door and say, hey, I'm here?
People can absolutely book online with us to reserve their spot. However, the studio is open 15 minutes before and after each class. So if somebody just wants to come by, check out the space, you can just look at the class schedule and know that our doors will be open 15 minutes before and after.
Okay. Well, I'm sure some people would love to just come in and take a look around and watch some
Absolutely.
people do their thing, let's put it that way, and say, oh, you know what, I'm comfortable with this, or I'm not comfortable with it. So,
yeah.
But, so what is your website?
Our website is themantraroomct.com.
Okay.
And we are also on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, okay, very good. All right. And so now, exactly where are you located? We didn't even say anything about that.
We are located at 661 Wyndham Road, and it's right next to the Dollar General. Over the Frog Bridge.
Oh, okay. So you're in that little right between Ladd's Greenhouse and the Dollar General.
Yes, it's a great
Riverview Plaza.
Yep.
Riverview?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, are you in that kind of rounded room that's on the side there, or?
No, that is a fabulous CrossFit gym.
Oh, okay.
But we are 2 doors down from that.
Okay. All right. So how many people can you accommodate, comfortably? Let's put it that way. If you wanted to have a session for a day or something, can you accommodate 10, or can you accommodate 20, or what is comfortable to you?
Comfortable is 16.
16. Oh,
Yep.
Right between the two.
Yeah.
Right between the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's right on my way
It is.
home
yeah.
and down to my shop. I'm thinking maybe I should just pop in there and see your.
We would love to have
your
you.
thing maybe today on the way after work on my way to go mow my lawn. I should pop in and say hello and see
you
what
could do
your
yoga
Yeah, it's a
instead of
beautiful
mowing your lawn.
space.
Right. Okay. Now that we're talking on the radio, I'd like to see what's underneath that purple sign.
Absolutely.
Right.
So comfortable clothing, that's it? I mean, or do you have to wear something special to do yoga, or something special to do meditation, or
You can come in whatever you're comfortable in.
Okay.
We say comfortable clothes, but I
Okay.
have taught to many men in their 50s that show up in jeans and work boots, right?
Sure.
And
Got it.
I say
I
no
imagine
problem.
the boots come off probably.
Boots, I do make them take off the boots. They're reluctant, but
Sure.
but we sit down and we can work with whatever you're wearing. But comfortable clothes, we have mats, we have bolsters, we have blocks and blankets to support the practice, protect the joints.
Right. So people don't have to be worrying about showing up with their yoga mat and stuff and, I've got to buy this stuff so I can see if I like yoga.
Correct.
They can
we have
show
it all
up
there.
and determine it all there.
Yes,
And
and
then
if
they
they
can buy their
decide-
own if they like.
Exactly. If they decide they
All right.
like it, they become a regular participant, and they're like, you know what, I want some of this that I can bring back and forth, or I have a home practice.
Sure. Right.
Then they can decide what they want to get.
I imagine it does help to practice at home. If you're going to be doing it regularly, it must help to be doing it at home also.
Absolutely. Yoga is really more of a lifestyle.
Okay.
It is a lot bigger than just the movement. Just the movement is called asana. And the lifestyle of yoga is taking what you're doing on the mat out into the world, right? So being present in our everyday lives, being able to let go of things that aren't serving us. And so these are the things we learn on the mat, and then we have to figure out how to use in our everyday lives.
Let me ask you just, curiosity. Probably the answer is no. But if someone comes in with mobility problems, okay, do you do a hands-on approach or not? I mean, I can see someone coming in wanting to do yoga or wanting to do whatever and just can't get their body to configure that way. Let's put it that way. But do you kind of help some way in that way or not? Just curiosity.
Yes. So I will speak for myself personally, right? My background, I have a lot of accessibility and trauma-informed trainings.
Okay.
And so working with people that have had things like knee replacements, shoulder replacements, hip replacements, that's kind of where my niche is.
Okay.
And so I always say it's not about whether you can or can't do a pose. It's about how.
Okay.
And so I will, if somebody is struggling to get into a pose, I'll come over, ask their permission to be like in their space.
Sure.
And then we will use the blocks, the bolsters, and blankets to lift the ground level, right? And support them to be able to sit on this side hip or kneel or lighten the load in the wrist for what it is that we're doing.
Okay.
Right. So I imagine there's people that have trouble maybe sometimes getting up high enough off the ground to be able to do the pose, but you can support them so that they can start the pose, and maybe they'll build up over time.
Yes.
To get that strength to do it on their own at some point.
Absolutely. And the strength
Who knows?
is something that definitely comes.
As you do this, strength comes, is what you're saying.
Yes, strength, resilience, flexibility, and balance. So one of the other places I work is I teach 4 classes a week at the Wyndham Senior Center.
Okay.
And so we're dealing with, an age demographic that can range from 50 to 90 in these different classes. And so arguably, some of the harder things are the being on the floor, being on the knees, being on the wrists, that kind of stuff. And so teaching people how to use the props is what we call them in yoga, the blocks, the blankets, and the bolsters, how to use the props to deepen their own practice, right? So if the knees hurt, well, we cushion the knees to make it more tolerable.
Okay.
Right? I'll meet somebody and they'll go, oh, my wrists hurt. I'm going to come to yoga once that stops. And I say, well, if you don't come to yoga, that's never going to stop, right? It's a level of sensation we're working with, dealing with. And so we have to slowly build tolerance. And that's what getting on the hands and knees does.
Right. So building these strengths.
Correct. And as we age, we tend to get on the floor less.
I even get up.
I even catch myself. It was like I had one of those little robotic vacuums, and it'll get stuck under the bed, and I'll be like, Weston, my son, come in and get this vacuum. I'm like, oh my God, I'm breaking my own rules. I'm supposed to get
need to
down.
crawl under there.
Yeah, to keep that. It's a practice. It's a skill that you can lose.
Right, and your muscles, because your muscles will keep doing what you keep telling them to do unless you stop telling them.
Yes. Yes.
So what kind of ailments, we were talking about, bad wrists or bad hips or whatever. What other kind of ailments would yoga kind of help with? Let's put it that way. If there's, or is that basically it? How's that? Like, let's say bad posture or a bad back or a hip or something like that. I mean.
So if whatever somebody comes in, whatever they're working with, it's going to help in 2 ways. The first way is that through strengthening, gentle stretching, and loosening of the fascia of that area, we can see improvement in the mobility, the comfort levels, things like that.
Right.
The other thing that you get to take away from it is learning how to support yourself when an issue flares. So I myself have arthritis in my knees. I'm 42. This is something that's hereditary in my family. All the women in my family needed double knee replacements by 50.
Okay.
And they don't like to do knee replacements at 50 because they only have a 30-year lifespan if you're lucky.
Right. They want you to wait as long as you can.
Correct.
Right.
And so my knees give me trouble regularly. And so now that I know how to support myself through the practice, I can kind of feel if they're unhappy, if I need to back off, if I can deepen, and if I did something, messing around in the garden, and I hurt my knee, I know I can still go to yoga tomorrow because I know how to set myself up for success so that the knee is cared for while I maintain my practice.
Okay. Right. So the fascia you're talking about, like all of our muscles are covered with this
Yes.
fascia, if I correct, right?
Yes.
So that can tighten up.
Absolutely.
And then it doesn't matter about your muscles underneath because that's restricting you.
Yes.
Correct?
Totally. So the fascia in the body covers everything. The joints, the ligaments, the muscles, it covers it all. And it's shaped like a spider web, so it's very breathable and pliable.
Okay.
And so what happens due to lack of manipulation or not use of the fascia, but it becoming stagnant because of lack of movement, lack of range of motion.
Right.
The spider web becomes tighter, 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 tighter until it's like encasing everything and it's hard to move. And
Right.
so yin yoga is a practice I lean into and teach heavily. And this is about working with the fascia of the body. And so you're not really able to tap into the fascia until you can get into a pose and relax the muscles enough to where what you are actually working or stretching or increasing blood flow to is the
Right.
fascia itself. And so yin yoga is a great practice if you want to increase your range of motion, kind of work the fascia. If you're having any fascial issues now,
Right.
this can be helpful.
So I imagine there's people with range of motion things, whether it's your knees, elbows, your back,
Absolutely.
shoulders, that would gain a lot of benefit.
Yeah,
from
absolutely. And a lot of it is the
this.
education piece, right? How do we don't, you learn to walk at a very young age and then you're like off running as a child. And then as we age, we kind of have to figure out how to move. And so a big thing for me is moving the arm and letting the rib cage come in as well. And so it's as simple as if I were to make a circle with my arm, right, I can just move the arm itself, or, right, if I follow my hand with my gaze, right,
Right.
now the rib cage and the thoracic spine are creating a rotation as I move it.
You're
right?
moving more
so
just
we're
by
now we're
watching-
supporting the shoulder and moving the mid back to make sure that that's healthy.
We're down to our last minute, Haley. I apologize, but why don't you just give your website again and how people get a hold of you so they know how much it costs and things like that? Go ahead.
Absolutely. So we are at the mantraroomct.com. That's our website. We are on Facebook and Instagram. And we have a 2-week unlimited yoga pass for new students for $29.
Well, that sounds great. That
Yes.
sounds good. Sounds
That's
like Dan and
fantastic.
I.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you again for coming in. It's
Absolutely.
great to have you
Thank
online.
you so much for
And
having
Dan, you're going to
me.
have Dan heading down your way here, so pretty
Right.
soon. So.
I'll stop by on my way home tonight.
Excellent. That'd be great.
We're up
Right.
for a break,
Excellent.
folks. We'll see you in a little bit.